Captains Michael Klinger and James Treadwell came to an agreement to set up a game on the last day of a batsman-dominated match, Kent being left with 411 runs to win in the final 3 sessions in Cheltenham by Gloucestershire. All of that was in the future as play got underway on the third morning, with Kent resuming on 165 for 2 in reply to the home side's mammoth 562 for 5 declared. There have been few batting failures in this match, but after Brendan Nash struck an early boundary, he was bowled by Tom Smith, a spinner on loan from Middlesex. Nash made only 9, and then Gloucestershire worked to a plan to get rid of Ben Harmison. Will Gidman went around the wicket and nearly had him caught down the leg side. Sam Northeast, who began the day on 79, did fall that way, although this wasn't in the planning. He was strangled by Craig Miles to go just 6 runs short of a deserved 100. That brought Darren Stevens to the crease. He's currently the most exciting batsman in county cricket, and with short boundaries and a flat pitch, this whole situation was made for him to have a real go, and he didn't disappoint. He got going with some sweetly struck 4s and then twice launched Smith over the ropes for maximums to take his tally of 6s this season to 15 in the Championship. That's more than anyone else. He is the current holder of the fastest 100 of the season. That was made in 44 balls in the Yorkshire Bank 40, but he's also scored very quickly in his last few 4-day games too, and he was soon blazing away in the hot sunshine in the Cotswolds to entertain another good festival crowd who have had much to enjoy over the past couple of days. A carve through the offside brought Stevens his 7th 4 to go with those 2 6s, and that took him to another 50, this one occupying only 35 deliveries. He's in scintillating form right now, and is a man who is clearly really enjoying his cricket even at the age of 37. Harmison was no slouch either. He has twice managed his best for his county this summer, and once in here he looked ready to beat his best again, although he was close to being caught at mid-wicket off Smith on his way to his latest half-century. That arrived just after the lunch break, by which time his side had brought up the 300 in the 79th over, and the captains had already come to an agreement. Harmison had required 87 balls for his 50, from which he'd hit the boundary rope 6 times. So the follow-on was no longer a concern. Instead, the thoughts moving to setting up this game through declarations, by the time that Stevens straight drove his 9th 4 to move into the 70s. He had slowed down a bit after lunch, and then he missed a sweep shot off Smith and was LBW for a 71 ball 75 at 315 for 5. He'd put on 103 with Harmison, who was still in and now playing with plenty of confidence. Who wouldn't on this surface? He just failed to clear the rope on that occasion, but did next ball off Benny Howell, who turned to bowling spin rather than his normal medium paces. Harmison then guided James Fuller to the 3rd man boundary for his 12th 4 to take him to 3 figures for only the 4th time in his career and for the first time in Kent colours. He'd needed 141 balls to get there, and once achieved, Treadwell declared on 389 for 5, not even bothering to try to get to 400 for a 5th batting bonus point. Yes, a deal had been done, with Gloucestershire now out again with a lead of 173 on first innings, and Chris Dent looking as formidable with the bat in his hands as he did on the first day, when he made a career-best 153. It was only a few overs in that Treadwell turned to his part-timers, which helped the batsmen no end. Vernon Philander bowled only 3 overs, and Charlie Schreck 5, and they didn't promise too much either. This pitch has played so well for the batsmen that scoring runs has been easy enough without being given some easy balls to hit. Dent took on Harmison and was soon at another 50, this one coming off 51 balls with 8 4s included. How the Gloucestershire batsmen must be looking forward to having a couple of weeks at this outground. Klinger also made a half-century, although with Daniel Bell Drummond tossing easy hits to him, he didn't want to take credit for it by raising his bat. Indeed, it wasn't much of a spectacle by now, although this tactic was necessary. Dent, however, will wonder how he missed out on a second 100 in the match when he lobbed a return catch to a delighted Northeast, for whom this was the first wicket of his career. Needless to say, he didn't get any more, as the remainder of the day was purely about getting to an agreed target. This used to happen a lot when Championship cricket was played over 3 days, and thankfully we don't see it too often these days. Treadwell did give himself a few overs, but he was smashed for a couple of 6s by Dan Housego. Klinger, meanwhile, eased his way to his 4th ton of a very good summer for him, which has now seen him score more than 1,000 runs in all competitions. The stats are meaningless really, but I'll give them to you anyway. His 100 had come from 118 balls with 9 fours and 1 6. Housego then flicked Bell Drummond over mid-wicket for his third maximum. And after he got a single 2 balls later to complete a 50 off 54 balls, Klinger decided enough was enough, not bothering with the last couple of overs by declaring on 237 for 1 from 41.5. The second part of the day had not been great for the spectators, but it was all done to set up an intriguing final day. So Kent have a minimum of 96 overs on Saturday to score 411 runs to win for the first time this season, and on this surface that looks about spot on, although if Stevens stays in for any length of time, that target is easily gettable. A win for Gloucestershire, if they can take 10 wickets, will see them move up to third in the second division table, so there is all to play for.